For Tuesday, January 31st, we did 2 packets, Review Test 2 and Night Watch. You recorded your answers on the Scantron. If you labeled your Scantron like this, it was easier for me to know which one to scan. You'll bubble in your answers here, 1 through 10 and 1 through 10. So starting off with Review Test 2, this was using context clues to figure out vocabulary. Examples, synonyms, or antonyms. Overall, the scores were good. Most people got A's or B's. There were a couple of low scores. The specific problems that people performed poorer on were 2, 3, and 4. Number 2, 60% of people got right, but that was the lowest scoring one. The question was, what kind of context clue helps you understand the meaning of the cartoon? Well, I'm trying to curtail my coffee drinking by cutting down to just 1 cup a day. Curtail and cutting down are synonymous. They mean the same thing. So curtail may have been unfamiliar, but cutting down is probably something you know what it meant. Number 4, 68% of you got right, but that was still one of the most common mistakes. Because the professor's explanation was nebulous, several of the students asked him to make himself clear. So this is an example of an antonym. Nebulous and clear mean the opposite thing. If you know what clear means, well, what's the opposite of that? The opposite of clear is vague. So that's what nebulous means. Number 3, 76% of you got right. Nepotism is commonplace where I work. The boss's daughter is vice president of the company. Her husband runs the order department, and their son has just started working in the warehouse. Daughter, husband, son, all relatives. So we're clearly showing favoritism to relatives there. You know what nepotism is by context clues that provide examples. The rest, you got correct at an 80% or higher rate. The other packet, Night Watch, looked like this. We read a story, there were 10 multiple choice questions, and on the back there were 4 discussion questions. We chose any 2 of them, and we wrote them on the back of the Scantron. Overall, the scores were good, not quite as good as the first worksheet, but there you see, a lot of A's, B's, some C's. The most problematic questions we'll go through right now, starting with number 10. In the sentence below, the words uniquely human mean which of the following? And the sentence reads, and he proved, in a uniquely human way, that there are people who care what happens to their fellow human beings. So, does that mean it's impossible for humans to do? Well, based on the context, there are people who care. You can rule that out. Is it scary? Well, maybe, but the context clues is not indicating fear at all. Sudden is inappropriate because there's no mention of time. So done only by humans is the correct answer here. And the clues are people, fellow human beings, done only by humans. Only 48% of you got right. That was the weakest problem. Next up, number 6, 64% of you got right. A clue to the meaning of limp in the sentence above is the antonym. So we looked at limp versus toughened. The antonym was toughened. That helped you figure out that limp means lacking firmness and strength. So there's a bonus, 2 for 1. Number 4, only 77.3% of you got right. In the excerpt below, the word dimly means which of the following? So she had to repeat the word several times before the patient's eyes opened. Heavily sedated because of the pain of his heart attack, he dimly saw the young man. Patient's eyes opened, heavily sedated. Had to repeat the word several times. These are all examples that he's not seeing very clear. Unclearly was the correct answer here.